Edward Yao, Secretary for the Environment from Hong Kong. I think cities' involvement in the C40 process is important in two senses. First, cities are suffering from the adverse impact of climate change. Obviously, you see sort of global warming, heat island effect, a lot of emission coming from our industry, from our homes. So on the one hand, I think cities suffer a lot from very evident adverse effect of climate change. So that's why we need to work together in tackling those. At the same time, I think city has the capacity, both individually and collectively, in reversing the trend. Because, well, cities are usually with much better economic development, with more resources, with talent, and with all the technology available. And collectively, I think the C40 is an organization where big cities sitting together to consider what would be the best strategy and best practices that we can work together in combating climate change. There might be belief that, well, cities could be insulated from adverse climate changes because city usually equipped with better indoor environment, air conditioning, whatnot. There is also misconception that, well, climate change, it could only be seen from the retreating glacier, whatnot. But actually, think about it, every city are suffering from extreme weather, for instance. Either too much rainfall, certain cities suffer from tornadoes, typhoons, and in some cities suffer from drought in extreme weathers. So in a way, I think the impact of climate change sees no boundaries. And in fact, in big population cities, I think it's imminently felt the world is getting warmer and warmer, in particular heat island effect. And some homes, particularly poor households, they may be getting a high electricity bill as a result of this extreme weather. And it also affects commerce. For instance, extreme weather, typhoons, tornadoes would cause life and also property loss, which is imposing certain economic impact on our city lives. But more importantly, I think people in the city do have an aspiration for a better and more livable life. And we should also be contributing to this process. If we can sort of stop or reverse the trend of global warming, I think cities are well placed in the forefront to take leadership and also initiative in doing more. Our carbon footprint is actually slightly below the world average, but there is certainly no place for complacency because as a big city and as the economy continues to grow and as people continue to consume more, we're expecting more emission of greenhouse gases if we're not quick enough to reverse that trend. So we have set ourselves a proposed target of reducing our carbon intensity by 50 to 55% in 10 years' time. In actual terms, that would mean a knocking off of the actual carbon emission by 1/5 to 1/3. So that's a very ambitious target. To fulfill this target, we need to take a multi-pronged approach, including behavioral changes, for instance. How to better equip our homes with a view to reducing energy consumption by having smarter air conditioners, energy-saving elevators, more energy-conserving lightings. We can maintain the same enjoyment of a livable home by having a lower electricity bill. That will ultimately benefit individual households. So that's why legislation are being put in place. Substantial funding on a dollar-for-dollar basis are being used as incentive to push this forward. I think no city is a perfect example. We all fare reasonably well in certain areas, but we might be lagging behind in others. But typical Hong Kong has been all along been the gateway into the mainland of China and Asia. It has long been a place where we welcome technology or state-of-the-art technology. So Hong Kong is well placed to be the marketplace for all these technologies to come to Hong Kong and from Hong Kong go to our hinterland. At the same time, I think we have all along been benefit from the rapid economic development of China mainland. We also see our responsibility to do better because economically we are much more well developed. So we can afford to do more, to do better, so that we can demonstrate that, well, a city like Hong Kong can be the driving force to greener and cleaner city where we'll bring a better livable life for our people.